Hello, everybody. Welcome to another fantastic episode of Youth Connect. I'm Aiden.
I am Kevin.
I'm Logan.
I'm Jeffrey.
And welcome to our Youth Connect. Hi, guys. I am so excited to share with you some awesome news. Happy Friday! I don't know about you, but I am really excited. This week has been filled with tons of awesome stuff, and I am absolutely so excited for the weekend. Woohoo! I hope that you guys are excited, though, right now at this very moment, this Friday, for an awesome episode. We're going to have tons of stuff. If you don't know, Youth Connect is a news, interest, entertainment show, and it's got video game news, some world news, some cooking knowledge, and even live music. It's kind of got a little bit of everything in it. So I hope that you guys are excited. Now, if we know with Youth Connect, there's so many things to talk about, but the first thing that we always have to do is some gaming news. So, first things first, I want to talk about our game of the week. Then this is a game that I either am going to show you that is going to be coming out soon, is going to be an old classic, or has just released recently. And this one kind of falls under the released recently kind of category. And today's game of the week is actually a played game. So I know this game very well. And today's game of the week is Deltarune. So what is Deltarune? Well, Deltarune is actually the second game that Toby Fox had created, and actually was technically considered the very first game he worked on. Deltarune actually came out before Undertale, but actually was only fully released and fully created after Undertale. It usually follows along the character Chris, and he has to travel into this dark, strange world filled with different inhabitants known as Darkners. But what's really important for all those fans of Deltarune is that the new and long-awaited chapters 3 and 4 of the indie RPG game is officially been released. It's been a while. Technically they released on June the 5th, so it's been a while, but not too long. It's actually just released. So I will say this was really interesting. So Deltarune in 1 and 2, if you guys want a taste of how the game plays out, you can actually get the game for free by playing chapters 1 and 2, which are free. And if you want the full game, you get chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4 for $24.99. But there technically is 7 chapters, and chapters 5 through 7 will be released as free updates to players who purchase the entire bundle. I did, and it was quite shocking because on the game's release, or the game's update, I guess you could say, it actually made huge waves in the gaming community. On Steam, Deltarune actually quickly climbed the charts with over 130,000 concurrent players at launch, easily surpassing its previous players' peak and becoming one of the most top grossing games on Steam of the week. Alongside the game, the official soundtracks for chapters 3 and 4 also dropped, featuring new tracks composed by Toby Fox with guest contributors from musicians like Alex Rossetti and Lena Raine. The soundtrack was met with instant praise, including myself. That soundtrack is fantastic, continuing Deltarune's tradition of delivering iconic music. At the end of Chapter 4, players were also treated to the teaser hinting that Chapter 5 is currently in development and expected to release in 2026, which is actually literally right around the corner. And the 7-chapter story is slowly unfolding, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen next. If you guys want to play a game similar to Undertale and you don't know what to find, I recommend checking out Deltarune. If you have played Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4, it is a ton of fun. I love that game. I love the new chapters. Really was worth the wait. Remember, we waited like 3 years for this, guys. It was so worth it. So I hope that you check out Deltarune. It's also on Nintendo Switch too, and I hope you check it out. Anyways, though, let's keep it moving. Next up is Kevin with some all-important news, sports, and weather, but more importantly, that interesting fact that's going to be shared.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Youth Connect News. I'm your host, Kevin Aruja. Let's get right into the headlines. Report says fortificated Greenbelt records through code words. The countdown clock signaled kickoff of 2026 FIFA World Cup is 1 year away. More than a half of GTHA residents not confident they can live comfortably in the region long term. And a Montreal Grand Prix fan stuck on paying turbocharged prices for accommodation. Ontario Premier Doug Ford government broke its legal record-keeping obligations amid its now reversed decision to open parts of the protected Greenbelt lands for housing. The province information and privacy commissioner has been found. Political staff were using code words to thwart documents requests and left a surprisingly small paper trail for such a consequential policy. Commissioner Patricia Kozim wrote as part of an annual report. A new Freedom of Information appeals her office received on Greenbelt related requests early concerning systematic issues. In addition to issues previously highlighted by the Auditor General around political stuff, deleting Greenbelt emails, and using personal accounts, the government sometimes used code words in communications. Staffers sometimes refer to the Greenbelt projects in messages as special projects or GB or G, with reference to G being next to impossible to find. Those terms were under inconsistent use made it unduly difficult to search for Greenbelt's related records. The RCMP is doing an investigation into the government's decision to remove 15 parcels of land from the Greenbelt to remove 50,000 homes and process the Auditor General and Integrity Commissioner have found favor certain developers. Premier Doug Ford's office says the government has taken several steps to strengthen record-keeping practices, including reminding staff to preserve and manage records in accordance with requirements and holding training sessions, and will continue to comply with legal obligations. A top aide to former Premier Dalton McGuinty was convicted of some use of a computer related to his destruction of potentially embarrassing documents about the Liberal government's costly decision to cancel two gas plants before the 2011 provincial election. Stiles said there should be consequences for these new failings. The 1 year countdown to the 2026 World Cup starts on Wednesday with clocks to be unveiled to market the location in Toronto, Vancouver, and Niagara Falls. Toronto and Vancouver are World Cup host cities. Niagara Falls offers a world-class backdrop for a reminder that FIFA's expanded 48-team soccer showcase is just around the corner. There are more milestones to come in Canada, with a call for some 7,000 volunteers to be issued in August, ticket sales starting in September, and the tournament draw in December. Adidas has yet to unveil the match ball. Tournament's mascots will also be introduced. The tournament's official poster will join those of the 16 host cities. And the World Cup trophy is scheduled to make an appearance in Ottawa on Canada Day. The World Cup kicks off on June 11, 2026, with games in Mexico City and Guadalajara on June 12th. The focus switches to matches in Toronto and Los Angeles. The final is set for July 19th at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, NJ, and all will be in 104 games, with 13 each in Canada and Mexico, and the remaining 78 in the US. The last 7 editions of the tournament featured 32 games and 64 games. In addition to co-hosts Canada, Mexico, and the US, Japan, Iran, Jordan, South Korea, and Uzbekistan have already qualified from Asia, along with New Zealand from Oceania and defending champion Argentina from South America. Canada Soccer is revamping its existing Canada Red membership program, expanding it from the current 3 tiers to 7 levels. Each tier provides access to Canada Soccer ticketing, allotment, lottery from games featuring the Canadian men. The higher the tier, the higher the chances of securing tickets. FIFA traditionally reserve a portion of each World Cup's games tickets for the participating member federations. This is Canada's soccer's method of distributing them. Canada's soccer also used a Canada Red tiered um, approach for tickets for Canada games at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. A ring of permanent suites and under construction at BC Place Stadium, BMO Field will get an additional 17,750 seats, bringing total capacity to around 45,000 to 45,735 seats, with the north and south ends expanded. FIFA will take over the tournament stadium 30 days before the first game there, which would mean May 13th for Toronto and May 14th for Vancouver. More than half of residents in the GTHA said they are not confident they will be able to live a comfortable life in the region in the long term, according to the new polling commissioned by the Toronto Region Board of Trade. The online survey released Tuesday, which was conducted by Ipsos and polled 1,000 GTHA residents between May 9th and May 22nd. It found that only about 40% of respondents are optimistic about their ability to live comfortably in a region long term. Even fewer, 24%, said they felt confident that future generations will be able to afford to live and work in a Toronto region. While most respondents rated their current financial status as excellent, good, or fair, about the 72% said they are concerned about their finances over the next 2 years. Their survey found that only 34% of respondents are confident that they will have good employment opportunities to earn more in the long run. The cost of living the cost of housing was identified as the biggest barrier to job growth in the region, with 67% of respondents identifying as an issue according to the survey. About 57% identified traffic congestion as a barrier, which trade uncertainty and high taxes were each listed by 55% of those surveyed. In responding to the TR Bot Commission survey, a spokesperson for Victor Fedeli, Ontario's Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade, told CP24 in part, as part of our government's plan to protect Ontario, we are cutting unnecessary red tape, streamlining processes, removing costly interprovincial trade barriers, and accelerating permitting and approval processes to make it easier to get shovels in the ground for critical projects while creating more good-paying jobs. And in sports news, Paul Wadden has been a huge Formula One fan ever since she got hooked on the Netflix show Drive to Survive a few years ago. But the Halifax area healthcare worker says watching the Grand Prix in Montreal this weekend comes with high octane prices. The Montreal hotel where she's spending the first part of the week doubles in price for the weekend. The Grand Prix is Montreal's biggest tourist event, expected to attract some 350,000 visitors and generated $162 million for the city, according to the head of Tourisme Montreal. Yves Lantemiere estimated average hotel room price on Grand Prix weekends at $600 to $800 per night, although some wealthy CEOs will pay $8,000 for a suite. A ticket package for the 3 race days starts at $360 according to the Canadian Grand Prix website, though well-off fans can pay much more. Packages with perks such as VIP, concierge service, reservations and popular restaurants and parties, and accesses to areas like pit lanes and paddocks can cost tens of thousands of dollars. However, Lalumiere noted that the city also offers plenty of free entertainment, including a Grand Prix party on Crescent Street. He said hotel room prices are still very competitive, especially for those paying in US dollars or euros. Black and white checkered banners were already fluttering on St. Paul Street in Old Montreal on Tuesday as tourists lined up photograph a Formula One car on display outside Max Bitten's racing-themed store at Fenderbox. Bitten said he brought in a car as a gift to fans after last year's Grand Prix, which was marred by mishaps on and off the track that left a bad taste in some fans' mouth. While Grand Prix are generally well off, Britain also worries about rising prices, especially now that the city has imposed tougher new rules on short-term rentals for primary residents. Next year, the Grand Prix will be held from May 22nd to 24th, which is outside the June to September window on the primary residence rentals are allowed. Denise Bevor and Mark Omerod from West Sussex in London said they are spending a small fortune for a 10-day trip that includes Sunday race, as well as top stops in Quebec City and Mont-Tremblant. The CEO of the Greater Montreal Hotels Association said the occupancy this weekend is expected to be around 90%, similar to last year. In today's weather forecast, we've got cloudy with sunny breaks this afternoon. The temperature is now 19 degrees. And tomorrow we will get a mix of sun and clouds. The temperature will be 20 degrees. And now moving forward for interesting fact, I'm going to talk about Flag Day. Flag Day was going to be celebrated on June 14th, commemorates the adoption of the United States flag on that date in 1777. By the Second Continental Congress, the resolution specified the flag should have been 13 alternating red and white stripes. The 13 white stars on a blue field, while the resolution officially established the design, the Grand Union flag, was used before that to unify the colonies under a single flag. So I got 6 interesting facts about Flag Day. The first fact is the study of flags is called vexillology. Vexillology is a scientific study of flags and related emblems. It is concerned with research into flags of all kinds, both modern and historical, the creation of a body of practice for flag design and usage, and of the body of a theory of the flag development. Vexillology seeks to understand and explain the important played by flags in a modern world. The second fact is what is the biggest flag in the world? According to the Guinness World Records, the largest flag ever made was of the Romanian national flag that measured 349 times 227 meters, about 3 times the size of a football field. It weighed 5 tons and consisted of 44 miles of thread and was unfurled 22 miles southeast of Bucharest. It took 200 people several hours to unfurl it. The third fact is the most expensive Union Jack in the world. Money can be worth far more than its printed value, taking a 1794 flowing Harris silver dollar, for instance, which cost 10 million, making it the world's expensive coin. This is said to be the first silver coin to have been minted and issued by the US federal government in 1794, and worth a lot more than your average $1 coin. The fourth fact is there is always a flag flying over Buckingham Palace. It is well known fact that the Queen's Inn residence at Buckingham Place, the royal standards, is flown on the rooftop flagpole. However, when the Queen is not there and the Union flag will be flown instead. The same applies for all royal residents, including the Windsor Castle and Sandringham. In Scotland, the Royal Arms of Scotland is flown at the Holyrood House and Balmoral when the Queen is not there. The fifth fact is there is only one non-rectangular national flag. Every country flag is, to a certain extent, quadrilateral in shape, with only one exception is Nepal. It is shaped like 2 stacked triangles representing the Himalaya mountains and more recently the 2 religions of Hinduism and Buddhism. The sun and moon represents the hope that the country will live as long as 3 celestial bodies. The sixth fact is the majority of the flags at the London 2012 Olympics were made in France. Despite the undoubted success of the London 2012 Olympics, few people know that the Union Jacks are all other national flags we saw flying at the Olympic venues were made by the French company. The real irony of this is that the London and Paris were the last 2 cities from the IOC met their selection. We now come to the ending of my segment. Tune in for next week's news, weather, and your favorite interesting fact. This is Calvin Ruja, and it's back to you, Aiden. See you next 2 weeks.
Very interestingly, I will say, is that actually a lot of people would consider. I just learned about this word, guide, so you're going to learn it with me. Did you know that vexillologists, I know, very, very weird name, but also known as flag experts, often cite the national flag of Canada as one of the world's most beautiful based on its compelling design and measured use of color. Now, I don't know if red and white are the most interesting choices of color as an artist, but I think it's really beautiful that our flag is technically considered one of the most beautiful flags. And honestly, our flag has gone so far, like in 1982, it was put on Mount Everest, and in 1984 it was launched into space. So honestly, our flag has reached so many places, and it's a huge part of our culture. So very interesting choice for your interesting fact, Kevin. Thank you so much. All right, guys, time to keep it moving and time to bring you your second gaming news. Now, this is actually not gaming news, but more so a mix of kind of like more TV show and Wikipedia based. So, if you guys know, there is actually something called Wikipedia and Wikimedia. And the Wikimedia Foundation is a nonprofit group that hosts, develops, and controls Wikipedia. And it was recently announced that it won't be moving forwards with plans to add AI generated summaries to articles after it received an overwhelmingly negative reaction from its army of dedicated and unpaid human editors. Because honestly, who in the world would want to be replaced by an AI? I know I wouldn't. So, as reported by 404 Media, Wikimedia quietly announced plans to test out AI generated summaries on the popular and free online encyclopedia, which has become an important and popular bastion of knowledge and information on the modern internet. Now, actually, a lot of people do not actually consider Wikipedia Wikimedia as a generally good source of information, especially with these kind of plans. But in a page posted on June the 2nd in the back rooms of Wikipedia titled Simple Article Summaries, a Wikimedia rep explained that after discussions about AI at a recent 2024 Wiki conference, the nonprofit group was going to try a 2-week test of machine-generated summaries, and these summaries would be located at the top of the page and be marked as unverified. And Wikimedia intended to start offering these summaries to a small subset of mobile users starting on June the 2nd. Then the plan was to add AI generated content to the top of the pages, received an extremely negative reaction from editors in the comments below the announcement. The first replies, literally from two different editors, was a simple yuck. Another followed up with, just because Google has rolled out its AI summaries doesn't mean we need to one-up them. I sincerely beg you not to test this on mobile or anywhere else. This would do immediate and irreversible harm to our readers and to our reputation as a decently trustworthy and serious source. Which I honestly agree. I know a lot of people don't believe in encyclopedia, but encyclopedia has been one of the main sources of information. And Wikimedia is also very interesting because as many different editors continue to respond negatively to the idea, Wikimedia backed down and canceled its plans to add AI-generated summaries. So in the end, it was a thumbs up. Now, the Wikimedia Foundation has been exploring ways to make Wikipedia and Wikimedia projects more accessible to readers globally, and they're trying out many different ways to be able to access it for more accessibility to people with different reading levels. And honestly, I think that is actually really good. But personally, I think instead of hiring AI, just hire more editors and let the editors do their job. I mean, they're called editors for a reason. I think good job to those human people that said no to the idea. Now, I think for some things we should appreciate AI for some of the help, but my standpoint is when we cross the line of AI generated video I think that's when I cross the line. But if we use AI to help each other out, like if I need help writing an email, because sometimes as somebody who is disabled, I need help sometimes writing those emails. I think that's great. I'll write the email. It'll help me like correct a few of the words. That's working with AI. But basically asking it to help you write everything, that's where I'm like, I don't like it all too much that way. So I'm really glad that the Wikimedia editors stood up, and I hope they hire more editors to make it more accessible for all reading levels, so that it is all accessible, because you know us, we love to have spaces be all accessible. And I guess if you guys want, you could type down in the comments and kind of share what do you think about this. Anyways, gonna keep it moving. Next up is Logan with some culinary news, but more importantly, that cooking knowledge. What is it going to be? I'm so excited to know.
Hello, Youth Connect. I am Logan, and for this week on culinary news, a Canadian breakfast outlet is to open its first U.S. location. I got some more Canadian Michelin news, and finally, a Square One restaurant files legal action against a TikToker. Coming up with our first story, Canadian-based wellness-focused breakfast and brunch brand Pure and Simple is set to launch its first U.S. restaurant in San Antonio, Texas on June 24th, serving a mix of classic breakfast fare alongside Canadian staples like poutine and maple syrup, as well as some local favorites like breakfast tacos. With over 50 outlets in Canada since its 2016 debut, the San Antonio Test Kitchen aims to lead U.S. expansion into Texas and Florida. And before I move on to my next story, I'd just like to say that I've been to this particular breakfast location before, and it's a pretty great place. Very busy though, always so noisy because it's actually very, very popular. And I would say that if you're going to this place, Pure and Simple, the one thing you should absolutely have are their home fries. They are always so crispy on the outside, so fluffy on the inside. So many breakfast joints get home fries wrong, but Pure and Simple gets it right, and I hope the U.S. appreciates it as much as I do. In other news, a number of Canadian restaurants have received acknowledgement by the Michelin Guide, including a few new Michelin stars. Restaurants include Europia, located in Montreal, a modern French restaurant lauded for its quality and elegance, which was awarded 1 Michelin star. Another such restaurant is Quebec City's Tanière, which has become the only restaurant in the province to be recently awarded 2 stars by the organization. Known for its excellent tasting menu and was heavily praised for its wine and cocktail pairings. The last restaurant of note is the White Lily Diner, located here in Toronto. This restaurant was previously awarded the Michelin Bib Gourmand in 2023. Now, compared to their usual Michelin stars, which are more so awarded for innovation and experience, the Bib Gourmand is a reward that simply acknowledges quality and good food. The same restaurant has also retained its Michelin Green Star that it got in 2024. The Michelin Green Star is an accolade given out to restaurants that employ sustainable practices and consider the environment. As for our final news story for the week, Farzi Cafe, a restaurant located in the Square One shopping center, plans to take legal action against the creator of a TikTok video who alleged that the cafe uses unethical billing practices to cheat their customers. Namely with claims that customers were charged for items that they did not order and were served unsolicited dishes that the restaurant presented as complimentary without the guests knowing that said items would later be appearing on their bill. The video triggered a surge of complaints, which prompted Farzi Cafe to issue a public statement. They call these claims made by the video baseless and say that they will be pursuing legal recourse against the TikToker. Although with dozens of reviews on TripAdvisor that allege the same things, as well as an F grade by the Better Business Bureau for past failures to respond to complaints. Things are already not really looking all that good in the cafe's defense. Anyway, that just about does it for this week's Culinary News. I am Logan. Thank you all for listening, and back to you, Aiden.
Uh-oh. I didn't even know about this cafe. I don't think I've ever visited it, but I am really glad that I didn't, because facing definitely some very questionable kind of things is definitely not good for their business, and being now taken to court is definitely not good. I don't think that place is going to last any much longer. I think that's actually really interesting, Logan. I really do appreciate that you're taking news that is literally happening very close by to where I live. It's definitely something that I did not expect in your culinary news, so I actually really appreciated it. Thank you so much, Logan, for your news. I loved it. I thought it was great. And now it is time to bring into everybody's favorite, because literally, guys, I've been asked constantly, where is the community news? And this time I have it for you guys. I will say that this time has been a bit of a more casual week, I'm going to be honest. So on Monday was our I Can Lead and Learn. And I think this one was actually quite interesting. It was our very first time where we practiced speaking out loud and being leaders by using our voices and confidence. And I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like everybody that did participate on Monday did absolutely fantastic. On Tuesday was our I Can Move and Cook, where we cooked with tons of color. And we actually learned quite a bit and tested how taste, music, and shape changes the way we feel about food. And I'm going to be honest with you, I thought that was really awesome. And we made colorful burritos. And I don't know if I was the biggest fan because we didn't cook them, but don't worry, I helped Miss Judith get a good cook in for that. On Wednesday, we had our I Can Create Art, and our theme was our inner world. And we used color and texture to show how we feel inside, but also focused on, just on Tuesday as well, how music and shapes and colors represent different emotions, like how color and emotions are linked together. On Thursday was our I Can Explore the World. I can explore the world, if you want to say. We traveled the globe with Google Earth, and we learned from oceans to pyramids. Also learned about the world's largest man-made dinosaur. All in the safety of our own homes, which is quite awesome. The power of being online and connecting with each other is quite something. And lastly, on Friday was our I Can Recall and Learn, and we ended with a brain boost bash, and it was a quiz to test what we learned. And yes, we totally rocked it, and I didn't get first. I got third again. Oh my gosh, we're getting smarter and smarter every single week. I gotta up my game, I think. Anyways, that is the end of our I Can week, or technically our community news. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. It was quite interesting, and I know that next week we won't be here because we are going to be going somewhere very important. I will say we are going to the World Games in Spain, but more importantly, the World Floor Curling for all abilities. So we have many different people, from wheelchairs to disabilities like mental disabilities, physical disabilities, and all disabilities, all being welcomed for this world event for floor curling. It's very exciting. I'm really excited for it. It literally is 2 weeks away, so I might not catch you guys soon. So it might be a bit longer, but I won't keep our hopes down. I think next up we're going to be having Jeffrey, and Jeffrey's going to be bringing us some live music.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're ready to hear some music from moi, Jeffrey, and I'm going to bring you some reggae music with this. And today, playing some Bob Marley, Could You Be Loved? let them fool ya, or even try to steal ya. We got to find our own, so don't tell them what you think and it's not right. Love will never leave us alone. In the darkness, you must come back to light. Could you be loved and be loved? Could you be loved and be loved? Road of life is rocky, you must double do. That's why you point your finger at someone else is judging you. Could you be loved? Could you be loved? Could you be loved? Could you be loved? Don't let them change ya, or even rearrange ya. You got the life to live. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Say, ole, ole. Living inside of this shall survive. Stay alive. Hey, could you be loved and be loved? Could you be loved and be loved? You're never gonna miss the water till you're around and try. Not how you treat me and you'll never be satisfied. Could you be loved? Could you be loved? Could you be loved? Could you be loved? Say something. Say something. Say something. Say something. Could you be loved? Could you be loved? Could you be loved? Could you be loved? Road of life is rocky, you must undo. That's why you point your finger at someone else who's judging you. Never gonna miss the water till your everyone's dry. Not how you treat me, and you'll never be satisfied. Oh, could you be loved? Oh, could you be loved? Oh, could you be loved? Could you be loved? Don't let them fool ya, even try to school ya. We got to mind at home, so go tell her what you're thinking is not right. Love will never leave us alone. In the darkness, you must come back to life. Would you be loved and be loved? Could you be loved and be loved? Don't let them change ya. Oh no. Even rearrange ya. Oh no. They got to life to live. Ooh, 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 they say, ole, ole, unless they sacrifice, they shall survive. Stay alive, hey. Could you be loved and be loved? Could you in love and in love. Never gonna miss a Watson till you're out trying. No matter how you treat, and you'll never be satisfied. Could you be in love? 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 Say something, say something, say something, say something. Could you be in love? 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 Thank you, everybody. This is Jeffrey, a live musician. See you all next week. Check out my website, jeffreyinstrument.com. Anyways, back to you, Aiden. Bye, everybody.
All right, Jeff. That was an awesome song. I felt the beat. I felt the love in the song. It was absolutely brilliant. And unfortunately, this does bring us to the end of our Youth Connect. Now, actually, before I say anything, we will be gone for quite a bit. We're going to be gone for a bit, but do not fret, guys, because we have some shorts for you guys to keep you entertained. So do not fret. Do not worry. You're going to get all of the awesome Youth Connect content that you guys really, really do love. Just like Jeffrey's song, Could You Be Love? I hope that you love these YouTube shorts that will come up. Anyways, if you like Youth Connect, please like, comment, and subscribe.
And don't forget to click the bell.
Other than that, guys, I hope that you guys have an amazing week. For some of you guys know the Sound of the Music Festival is tomorrow, so I hope to see some of you guys there. Anyways, guys, we'll catch you later.